But listen, here's what we got to do. We got to kick it over to the NFL and our favorite segment of the week.
And now, 4 minutes of football.
Already on Monday night, the Carolina Panthers pulled off a win against the New England Patriots, 24-20, and handed the Pats their third loss of the season. But the question is, did they really? The game ended on an end zone interception thrown by Tom Brady from the 18-yard line with just 3 seconds remaining on the clock. However, there was a yellow hanky on the field as it appeared that the intended target, Rob Gronkowski, was held by Luke Kuechly. Since games cannot end on a defensive foul, the Pats, well, they would have themselves another shot into the end zone, except this time only closer. That wasn't happening either. The referee picked up the flag, and then came the announcement that the throw was uncatchable. I got to be honest, even I was anticipating the call, but the explanation also at the same time seemed somewhat realistic as well, since Gronk appeared to be a good number of feet, at least 7 feet or so behind the play. It's a judgment call to be determined, and when there's a guy there and it appears that he might not have been able to make the catch, even if he hadn't been unencumbered, I understood it. The play has continued to raise eyebrows, Sidekick, and some furor. I ask you, was the right call made? And we're still debating it.
Well, does someone need a tissue for their issue? Come on. I mean,
not I, but you're okay with it.
It was a judgment call.
Yeah, it is a judgment call. That for sure.
And it was too close to call, because one of the other things that came out was it almost they both almost happened. The interception and the impeding of Gronkowski happened almost at the same time, simultaneous. So, yeah.
It's a tough call. It is a tough call.
Yeah.
But. All right. You got one for us?
I do.
Yes.
So, this week we heard about the one-game suspension of one linebacker, Erik Walden, for his helmet to no helmet, hit on Titans tight end Delanie Walker.
Yep.
We talk a lot about concussions and, ticky-tack penalties and stuff like that.
Yep.
But isn't this egregious? I mean, this needs to be addressed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't go and call a guy for a hit to the head when a guy's coming up and hitting a guy defenselessly after the play is over. To make no mistake. Plus, he was the one that was responsible for ripping the helmet off of Walker's head to begin with.
Right.
So, no, absolutely, I can completely concur with that. Do you think it should have been more?
I do, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
More than one game?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, let's keep talking hits for a moment. How about San Francisco 49ers' Ahmad Brooks ultimately fined for his late-game hit on New Orleans Saints QB Drew Brees? The NFL ruled it constituted a hit to the head, and referees on the ground saw it that way as well, as they flagged him right on the spot. However, it raised, again, the questions about hitting high, hitting low, hell, not hitting at all. Many argued that Brees, due to his short stature, is more prone to these types of calls, that another QB who might be 4, 5, 6 inches taller may not get that call. ESPN analyst Ray Lewis, well, he passionately weighed in on this specific case, backing up Brooks in a symbol of fraternity and principle, and promised Brooks that if fined, Lewis would pay half of Brooks' fine. Today, Lewis would be, or could be, nearly $7,900 lighter. Apparently, Tedy Bruschi also committed $5,200. We discussed this hit right here on Sunday from the Frat House. And the questions I've got for you are this. Number one, was it a good hit enhanced by Brees' stature? That's number one. In other words, was it really just a good hit, but because of Brees' size, it looked bad? And two, should others be paying fines for players, particularly folks that are, say, former athletes who are now in media and what have you, like Lewis and Bruschi?
Well, first, I'm going to address the second point.
Go ahead.
And then I'll go back to the first point real quick since we're off time.
Right.
Ray Lewis, the NFL has come out and said that no one can help subsidize
Good for them.
fines levied against players.
Good for them.
And also, the players come out and said that he's not going to accept money that he was going to appeal the fine.
Okay.
Now, as far as the hit goes, and the argument of stature of quarterbacks, when you throw a hit, you should be in control when you're throwing a hit. If your argument is, well, some quarterbacks are higher and some are lower, then you're obviously not controlling your tackle.
Okay.
So,
All right.
You have to take into effect whether, what you're hitting, control. Also, if you look at it, his bicep clearly goes around Brees' neck.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it hits low on the pad and then slides up,
Yeah.
but it still is a head hit. Eventually, he may not have meant it to go there, but the force drew the arm up around, and so I agree with the fine.
Okay. You're making me see the other side. Because I, for one, was coming down the other direction, but that's...
No, but I mean, I do agree with you.
I mean, it didn't look like a hit to the head to me. I mean, that's all I'm saying. But
right. But if you look at it in slow motion now, you can see where the arm definitely slides up.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I think they got that one right. But yes, I agree that the hits are some of them are just silly.
It goes back to the judgment call thing that we were talking about before.